Que raios é isso?
É um mini Transformers.
Por que ele tá nesse estado?
Ele tá sem um braço.
Today we are going to attempt, and probably fail, to participate in the spooky art challenge since we are on Halloween after all. At first what I wanted to try was an existing art challenge for this video, but I couldn't find any besides Inktober, and I am already doing that. If that would interest you, you can always look my Instagram or also the YouTube shorts that I am posting in the process of doing that. I'm gonna leave a link in the description if you wanna see that. But anyway, since I can't find any spooky challenges that already exist, fine.
I'll do it myself.
So I created the Object to It challenge, TM. The idea is that you start going to a friend of yours and send a message asking for a picture of an object. Don't tell them for what it is, don't give them any context. Just ask for a picture of an object in their house. And then after they send you the last thing that you were expecting to get, you have to turn that object into a character design for a witch or a wizard or whatever magical being that your mind might create. So, for the first object I decided that I would take the picture myself, just to see how bad this challenge could be. So I looked at my table and chose the first thing that I saw that was my HyperX Quadcast microphone. Hey, HyperX, why don't you sponsor me? Cause you have less than 1,000 subscribers. That reminds me, if you want this to no longer be the case, you can always subscribe if you're not already. And if you are already, you can always share with people who you think will like this kind of content. For this design, I tried to keep her proportions similar to the mic by making her a very tall character and making this very unique dress thing that kind of connects to the hat or something like that. I tried making that since most Switch designs already have dresses and a very big hat, so why not just keep with that? And I figured that it would look pretty nice if I tried to make the brim of the hat create a similar shape to this weird thing around the microphone. That way, making her silhouette even more similar to the mic. For her belt, I tried to add this little knob that the microphone has to change the type of recording. And I also decided to make her as if she was, you know, levitating in place slash flying. Since most mics nowadays are always supported by an arm or something that prevents them to be standing on the floor by themselves. That allowed me to make some nice effects on the floor with shapes similar to those shapes that you always see people drawing to represent audio. Because you know, it's a mic! And since we are talking about support, I made her staff with 3 legs on the end to represent sort of like a tripod. So I think that if this was supposed to be a character from a movie or comic or series or whatever, I believe that the staff could just walk on its own, use those 3 legs as, you know, actual legs, and be like one of those sentient magical objects that you always see in movies or series. And since I didn't want the staff to just be, you know, a stick with legs, I made a jewel on the other hand with a golden holder that has a similar shape to the mic holder itself that came in the box. Honestly, I like this design very much. But the thing is, it was easy because I selected the item. So I suppose that the other items that, you know, my friends are gonna choose are probably gonna be much harder than that.
I was first born in a laboratory, unknowingly falling into a pit of immortality. Life was hell.
Olá, chefinho. Tudo bem com sua existência?
Tudo ótimo, Bruninho.
Tudo ótimo. Eu estou bem. Chefinho,
Falei.
eu tenho uma missão para você, eu preciso de uma coisa.
Falei.
Você consegue tirar foto de um objeto comum de sua casa?
Ah, o objeto.
Qualquer objeto, contanto que seja um objeto comum da sua casa. Well, and the first picture that I received was a popcorn bucket that looks like an old TV. A promotional popcorn bucket for Jumanji. I'm gonna pretend that that's just an old TV and not a popcorn bucket that looks like a TV, because when he was talking to me, he specified that it was a TV. He did not say anything about being a popcorn bucket. Instead of making a human like I did last time, I think I'm just gonna make like a magical robot thing. Long live to the peak of character design of characters such as Beemo, those robots from Stray, and of course, last but not least, the TV from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. That's just peak character design right there. I decided to turn the TV 90 degrees so it looks more like a human face in the sense of proportions, you know? More vertical looking. But I'm not giving him human proportions or putting the TV as the head itself, because a TV of that size is a very heavy thing. And I don't think it would be very smart to use that as, you know, a head thing. I think it would be better suited for a torso. The idea is that somebody just took the TV and made a robot wizard around it, I guess. And yes, when I say take the TV, that includes the little table that was underneath it. And since we're adding the table, why not make him another table that's gonna hang from the original table, and it's gonna be around him so he can support his potions and whatever he needs to. He's gonna have a little fire source there so he can brew the stuff that he's making. Since he's mixing stuff, he's gonna have an apron, and because he's a wizard, we're gonna add him a little wizard hat, which the brim just goes on the front, sort of like a cap on, just to make the hat look a little bit more unique compared to other wizard hats. And since I'm saying that he's sort of like a potion mixer kind of guy, I decided to make his arms one of those robots that you see in bars, you know, the ones that have like a little robotic arm that makes the drinks for the people. That you never see in real life, but you always see in videos. Honestly, this turned out a little better than I thought it would. I think there's still some room for improvement. Maybe I can make it look a little bit more steampunk or something like that to look less modern. Or I can make the robotic parts look more like a makeshift thing, since, you know, I said that the idea is that somebody just got a TV and built a robot around it, so it wouldn't make sense for the pieces to be as perfect as they are here. But depending on the context, I think that this still can be a good character design.
Putang ina! Si Optimum Pride! Puking inang yan, Optimum Pride! Babe, si Optimum Pride, do.
Gustavo, acho que tinha alguma coisa na janela.
Não tinha nada na janela, Bruno. Tá de dia.
Ah, tá, aquilo são as coisas de satélite.
Putang ina!
Que raios é isso?
É um mini Transformers.
Por que ele tá nesse estado?
Ele tá sem um braço.
Okay, so I talked to another friend of mine, and since I didn't give him any context on what I wanted, I received that. Oh my god, what am I going to do with that guy? Okay, so I still want him to be a little bit more medieval looking. I don't want him to look just like another robot. So I decided to give him the second best thing, an armor made of metal. So I decided to give him a little bit more of a square shape to also resemble a little bit more the original thing. For his head, I wanted to somewhat keep the shape of the Transformers head, but without making it into a helmet, because at that point we would just be a Transformers. So I decided to give him one of those leather hats that they used to have on medieval times, make the foot somewhat resemble the sharp things that the original hat had. Even though it's not perfect, it just somewhat resembles it, and that's what I'm after. Since the toy is missing an arm, I decided to make it also only have an arm. And oh yeah, he's supposed to be a wizard, I guess! So I wanted to make his one arm be levitating an orb or something like that, a magical item thing. And then, I remembered that scene.
The cube.
So instead of making a magical orb, I decided to make a magical cube instead. In my mind, could only remember the cube from Avengers, and thought that that thing came from Transformers, and I got it mixed up. It is not my fault that there's a lot of movies nowadays that have magical cubes, but I don't care. A cube is a cube, and that's what matters. And I really like the final result. I think this is more like a fighting slash knight slash brute force wizard that we have here that would keep using spells such as fireball in the middle of the fight. And I think that the square shape that this character has really helps to pass this message of a brute force kind of guy. Anyway, somehow it worked out. And those are the 3 characters that came out of this little experiment that we had here. What do you guys think of these characters, and what do you think of this style of video? I have been trying to experiment with new kinds of videos, and I wanted to try this character design challenge thing. And I think these kinds of videos are really fun to make, and also can give some people some idea on how to design characters, or at least have a better look into it. So tell me, do you like this kind of video? Would you like me to make more of that? Or do you have any other art challenges that I should try in the future? And since we're talking about art challenges, this is gonna be one of them for you. On my Discord server, we're gonna have a new art challenge that's gonna be exactly what I did here. You're gonna have to go to a friend, ask them for a picture, do not give him any context, and then you have to turn that object into a witch, wizard, or magical being. After you finish your drawing, you can post the drawing itself and the picture that the friends send you, the little contest channel that we're gonna have on my Discord server. And whoever gets more heart reactions in the end is gonna get a free commission from me, a little free illustration that you can get. The drawings made will probably show up in the next video that I post. Other nonsense that I have is just the Halloween cinema comic. You remember last year that I posted a Halloween comic for October? We're having a new chapter this Halloween, so just take a look on it. I'm gonna leave the link both for Discord server and also to read the Halloween comic on the description. Once again, thank you all for watching the video, I hope you really liked it. If you want to help me to get to 1,000 subscribers, you can always subscribe if you're not already, or share with somebody that you think will like this kind of content. I wish you all good luck on the contest, and happy Halloween, everyone!
Putang ina!